No, ma'am, don't talk to me like that. I'm an adult. Do not talk to me like that. Do not talk to me like that. Tell him to.
I feel like if it was Christian, I believe that's the young man's name, that was on camera assaulting Sha'Carri and pushing her around.
He lied about a couple things that's personally, just in a relationship. I pretty much, officers can understand what a relationship is about, but he lied. He's a liar. Okay. And that was something that I kind of just grasped, and emotionally, I'm just like, bet, you do your thing, but.
She tried to get him arrested in the airport. And the only reason she didn't get him arrested, because when you're in the airport, everything's under surveillance.
Christian Coleman's mom just turned the drama all the way up. Word is she ran straight at Sha'Carri over that airport fight, and the tension between them got explosive. See, once that raw, uncut airport footage of Christian and Sha'Carri hit the internet, it wasn't just messy, it was a full-blown disaster. Fans weren't just gossiping about a public argument anymore. They were watching receipts that painted the relationship as toxic from every angle. And for Dr. Daphne Coleman, Christian's mother, it was a nightmare come true. To her, that video didn't just look like a fight. It confirmed every fear she's been whispering about behind the scenes, that her son might be stuck in something way darker than people realize. People are split right now. Some are saying Christian's mom is doing too much by jumping in, but others argue she's the only one bold enough to protect her son before things spiral even further. And let's be real, doctor. Daphne has a reputation. She's not just any mom. She's a no-nonsense powerhouse who will go to war over her child if she feels like he's in danger. That's why when it came to Sha'Carri, it wasn't shocking that Dr. Daphne came ready to check her directly. In her eyes, nobody is gonna put hands on Christian and walk away like it's nothing. What really had people's jaws on the floor wasn't just that Dr. Coleman confronted Sha'Carri, it was how she did it. This wasn't some nervous mom trying to talk things out. No, Dr. Coleman showed up like a storm, eyes blazing and words sharp enough to cut glass. She didn't come to ask, why are you treating my son this way? She came to end whatever toxic grip Sha'Carri had on Christian, point blank, period. According to insiders close to Sha'Carri's camp who witnessed the blow-up, it was chaos from the jump. They say Dr. Coleman stormed into that space like she owned it, determined to tear the roof off if she had to. This was not a polite warning. It was a mother on a rescue mission, and her energy was explosive. And Sha'Carri, she wasn't backing down either. Witnesses claim she planted her feet, locked eyes with Dr. Coleman, and stood her ground like she was ready to defend her turf at all costs. The stare-off between the two women lasted nearly 3 straight minutes, an eternity when the tension is that thick. People in the room swore it looked like fists were about to fly at any second, with each woman daring the other to make the first move. Somehow, cooler heads managed to stop it before it got physical. But let's be real. Just because nobody walked away bruised doesn't mean the situation wasn't dangerous. That showdown sent a clear message. This battle isn't over, and both sides are ready for war. But out of everything Dr. Coleman shouted that day, there was one line that cut the deepest, and it wasn't the threats about police or her telling Sha'Carri to stay far away from Christian. No, the moment that really shook people was when she looked Sha'Carri dead in the face and said, I always knew you were bad news. Ever since Christian got involved with you, and now you just proved me right. That line left the room frozen, and it's been echoing ever since. Because now folks can't help but ask, were there red flags about Sha'Carri's temper from the very beginning? Did Christian's mom already see trouble brewing but tried to bite her tongue just to avoid clashing with her son's relationship? Or has she been silently waiting for the moment she could finally say, I told you so? To understand why that line hit so hard, you gotta rewind a little. Back in 2023, Sha'Carri and Christian were being hyped as the sports power couple of the moment. Matching outfits, joint interviews, playful IG posts, they had people calling them number relationship goals. But behind that shiny camera-ready image, whispers were floating. Not everyone was cheering them on, and the loudest skeptic was none other than Christian's mother, Dr. Daphne Coleman. She didn't start out hating Sha'Carri, but even in those early days, she claims the warning signs were flashing, and now in her eyes, it all makes sense. One of the first red flags for Daphne was how completely different her son and Sha'Carri were. Christian had always been the quiet, disciplined type, the kind of guy who kept his head down, hit his training, and still made it home before curfew when he was younger. His mom never bragged just to brag. When she called him a good kid, she meant it. But Sha'Carri, she was the total opposite. Loud, fiery, full of energy. maybe too much energy for someone like Christian, who thrived on structure and calm. At first, it just looked like an opposites attract kind of thing. But for Daphne, those differences were flashing neon warnings. She didn't just see a clash of personalities, she saw the potential for chaos. Insiders say she grew more and more convinced that Sha'Carri wasn't just a bad match. She was straight up bad news for her son. And it wasn't just a mother's gut feeling either. There were small but telling moments that built her case. Christian would cancel family dinners at the last minute because Sha'Carri suddenly needed him. Trips to see his parents only happened if Sha'Carri gave the green light. According to whispers, it was like Christian couldn't move without her approval. To Daphne, it wasn't love, it was control. And every time her son made an excuse, she clocked it as one more sign that the relationship was way more toxic than anyone on the outside realized. But that wasn't the only thing gnawing at Daphne's spirit. She noticed something chilling every time Christian's name and Sha'Carri's name came up in the same sentence. Her son didn't just defend Sha'Carri, he snapped at anyone who dared to criticize her. And this wasn't the normal, don't talk about my girl type of defense. No, witnesses say Christian's reactions came off like pure panic, like he was scared of what would happen if he didn't protect her image at all costs. And then came the phone calls. Daphne would ring her son, hoping for a simple check-in, only for Sha'Carri herself to pick up, and sometimes refuse to let Christian even speak. Imagine a mother dialing her own child, and another person decides whether that call goes through or not. To Daphne, it screamed control, and when you pile all of these moments together, the picture starts to look way darker than just love gone wrong. And here's the kicker, Daphne wasn't the only one connecting the dots. Siblings, friends, teammates, everybody around them was whispering about the same red flags. Remember that cryptic post that suddenly went viral a few months back? The one Team USA athletes kept reposting? You'll be so much happier when you accept that sometimes people aren't right for us, no matter how badly we wanted them to be. Fans thought it was just generic motivation, but insiders swear it was a subliminal shot at Christian and Sha'Carri's rocky relationship. At first, that cryptic post from Team USA athletes looked harmless, just another motivational quote floating around the internet. But now, looking back, it feels more like a warning shot straight at Christian. The fact that so many of his own teammates reposted it makes it crystal clear. They weren't just talking in general, they were trying to send a message directly to him. Unfortunately, Christian either didn't pick up on the message or he chose to ignore it. Because once that unedited airport footage leaked, it was undeniable. This wasn't just a one-off lover spat. This was a pattern.
So you hear me, right? So this is the position that Christian Coleman put me into, okay? Because he's a coward, and I don't want anything to do with him at this point going forward. My name is Sha'Carri Richardson. Have no problem with letting you know who I am. Haven't put my hands on him. We had an argument. I will be honest about that. An argument, and that's pretty much it. The argument, pretty much, he's a liar. He lied about a couple things that's personally, just in a relationship. I pretty much, officers can understand what a relationship is about, but he lied. He's a liar, and that was something that I kind of just grasped, and emotionally, I'm just like, bet, you do your thing, but you're asking me for things that is within my possession, and for my right, I don't have to give it to you because it's in my position. But when it came to the point that I saw that he chose to make it more about the police and things of that nature, that showed that he made a choice. So I just want to be more professional and just come professionally and let you guys know, like, hey, relationship thing, have no problem,
So
and walking up to you guys.
It's not
I'm
illegal
not
to
hiding.
argue,
Right.
Mm-hmm. Was there any type of physical?
I didn't touch him, he didn't touch me. I will be honest.
Hit him with anything?
No, I haven't hit him with
Headphones,
anything,
like that?
not at all.
The clip didn't just expose a fight, it put Daphne's fears on full display for the world to see. Every little thing she had been saying behind closed doors suddenly looked true in real time.
Christian, are you serious right now?
So man,
Christian.
Washington State, he doesn't get a say.
But I understand, we were arguing. But I understand entirely. We were arguing. Okay, I'm not gonna resist. But I'm telling you that we was arguing. I didn't him. I didn't do anything wrong. But the fact that you guys are doing this to me, and he's the man in this situation, I'm gonna comply. I am. I'm not gonna argue with you at all. But you have me on camera, but at the same time, what he has on camera, I have my phone, show something different. So if I need to show that, I will.
We have you on camera, so back here.
Okay, but I have my phone that shows something different. But Christian, thank you, Christian.
Don't talk to him right now.
Okay, I won't. Thank you so much, officer. They are arresting me right now, Christian. Sissy, they're arresting me right now. Am I gonna go actually to jail right now?
You are actually gonna go to jail.
Wait, but right now,
Yes, it's a physical.
I didn't. Can he tell you that I didn't do nothing to him?
We have it on camera.
Christian, are you serious right now?
Alright.
Christian, I'm about to go to jail because of you right now. You know what? Okay. Okay. I will never fucking shoot again.
Really shook people wasn't even Sha'Carri yelling or shoving. It was Christian's reaction. Watch closely and you'll see it plain as day. He wasn't shocked. He wasn't angry. He wasn't even defensive. He looked like someone who had been through this before. The way he kept his head down, tried to walk away while she kept pressing, kept pushing. It screamed experience, not surprise. That body language alone told a darker story than any PR statement ever could. And that's why the footage hit so hard. Because not long ago, Sha'Carri had been spinning the narrative, painting herself as the victim after her arrest and throwing Christian under the bus. But now the receipts are out and the world is asking, was she the aggressor all along? When the full, unedited police cam footage finally dropped, it blew the lid off everything, and this time, the spotlight was on Sha'Carri. At first, she played it cool, trying to downplay the situation like it was nothing more than a regular couple's argument. But the second she realized the cuffs were about to come out, her whole demeanor flipped. Suddenly, she was screaming at Christian, calling him a coward, accusing him of just standing there while she was getting dragged into the back of a police car. But that wasn't even the wildest part. Witnesses say she spiraled into a full-blown rant, turning the entire mess on Christian. She accused him of being the one who laid hands on her, twisting the story and playing the victim like she was fighting for her life in front of those cops. The problem? The footage didn't back her up. The second her version got exposed as a lie, she shut down completely. 1 minute she was yelling, cursing, and pointing fingers. The next minute, silence. It was like she realized the mask had slipped and there was no way to spin her way out this time. But here's the real plot twist. The part nobody saw coming. After all that chaos, after being cursed out and blamed for everything, Christian didn't walk away. He didn't even stay quiet. Instead, he shocked everyone by stepping forward as Sha'Carri's public defender. That move had the internet reeling. Was it love, fear, or something much darker keeping him tied to her? Like the world didn't just watch Sha'Carri put hands on him in public, Christian stepped out in an interview and shocked everybody. Instead of distancing himself, he doubled down, talking about giving Sha'Carri grace and saying she deserves a chance to get help without facing heavy consequences for what she did. According to him, she didn't need punishment, she needed compassion. For his mother, Dr. Daphne Coleman, that was the breaking point. Watching her son defend the very woman who humiliated and hurt him was bad enough, but what rattled her even more was his body language. The strong, confident athlete she raised was nowhere to be seen. Every movement looked smaller, every gesture felt forced, and his voice sounded like it had been rehearsed in fear. To Daphne, it wasn't her son talking. It was a man trapped in something he couldn't escape, and fans noticed too. The moment that interview aired, the internet lit up. Clips were slowed down, body language experts weighed in, and people were pointing out how Christian couldn't even hold eye contact with the camera. He kept looking down, shoulders tense, almost like every word he said was being pulled out of him against his will. So before anyone tries to say Daphne was overreacting, the proof was right there for millions to see. This wasn't just a mom worried about her boy. This was the public rallying behind her, saying the same thing. Christian didn't look like a man in love. He looked like a man shrinking under pressure. And everybody started wondering how far Sha'Carri would go the next time she lashed out. If she hits you once in public, she'll do it again. Next thing you know, you're a punching bag. That's what fans were screaming online after Christian's interview, and they weren't wrong. People couldn't believe he was defending a woman who not only laid hands on him, but also tried to flip the script and pin it on him. And the wildest part, even after all that, Christian still stood by her side like nothing happened. Dr. Daphne didn't even have time to react to the interview before another bombshell dropped, Sha'Carri's so-called apology video. Now, you'd think after being exposed on camera for putting hands on her boyfriend, lying to the police, and dragging his name through the mud, she'd show some genuine remorse, right? You'd think she'd sit down, take accountability, and at least try to repair the damage. But nope. Instead, Sha'Carri posted a 1-minute video that fans instantly called a slap in the face.
It's Sha'Carri, and more than anything, definitely a lot of self-reflection, a lot of
understanding of not only putting myself in a compromised situation, but somebody that I have a deep care and appreciation for as well is something that holding myself accountable. I see myself, I'm taking this time to not only see myself, but get myself a certain level of help that overall is going to reflect who I truly am in my heart and my spirit, and not allowing this moment.
She talked about accountability and self-reflection, but her whole demeanor told another story. Instead of looking sorry, she was smirking, grinning like it was all one big joke, as if humiliating Christian and dragging his family through the dirt was just another day at the office. That single minute of footage said more than any words could. It didn't come off like a woman owning her mistakes. It came off like someone mocking the entire situation. Fans flooded the comments calling it fake, performative, and flat out disrespectful. And for Christian's mom, watching that clip was confirmation of her worst fear. Sha'Carri wasn't just toxic. She wasn't taking any of this seriously at all. As if the fake smiling video wasn't insulting enough, Sha'Carri decided to add salt to the wound with yet another so-called apology, this time in her Instagram stories. And she aimed it straight at Christian. The post read, "I apologize to Christian. He came into my life and gave me more than a relationship, but a greater understanding of unconditional love. From what I've experienced in my past, due to my trauma and pain, I was blind and blocked off to not only receive it, but give it. I love him, and to him, I can't apologize enough. My apologies should be just as loud as my actions, honestly louder. To Christian, I love you, and I am so sorry." On paper, it might sound sweet, but fans weren't buying it for a second. Just like her video, the IG post dripped with insincerity. The tone was off, the wording felt like a PR stunt, and the over-the-top "I love yous" read more like damage control than genuine regret. Within minutes, social media lit her up. That Sha'Carri Richardson apology video is the most unserious thing I've seen in a while. Another fan blasted her with, "What kind of half-baked PR apology is this? Pure BS." But if fans were annoyed, Christian's mom was furious. Dr. Daphne had already been pushed past her limit, but those weak apologies, that was the final straw. Watching Sha'Carri play games with her son's dignity sent her into overdrive. So she did the only thing a mother could do. She pulled Christian aside, looked him dead in the eye, and begged him to cut ties with Sha'Carri before it was too late. And just to prove how serious she was, Dr. Daphne took it public. She started reposting cryptic IG stories, including one that read, "No matter how good you think it is, there's always better out there. Choose yourself." That one post told the whole story. She wasn't just whispering in her son's ear anymore. She was blasting the warning loud enough for the world to hear. That's when things took an eerie turn. Christian disappeared. No new posts, no interviews, no defenses, nothing. The only clue about his whereabouts? A flight out of the country, then silence. Meanwhile, Sha'Carri went ghost too. No races, no press, no social media updates. The same girl who used to live for the spotlight suddenly went radio silent. And the quiet has fans more nervous than ever. Now the questions are piling up. If Christian really cut ties with her, why did he spend so much energy defending her in the first place? If Daphne's right, and this wasn't the first time Sha'Carri put her hands on him, how many incidents never made it to the cameras? And most of all, what's hiding behind Sha'Carri's silence? Is she finally reflecting, or is she plotting her next big move while the world already has its back turned on her? One thing's for sure, this story isn't finished. It feels like we're standing at the edge of something even messier. And the next time Sha'Carri pops out, she might not be holding back. And here we are. The smoke has cleared, but the fire is still burning. Christian has vanished into silence. Sha'Carri has gone ghost, and Dr. Daphne is standing firm as the one voice refusing to back down. To some, this is just messy sports drama, but to others, it looks like a dangerous cycle hiding in plain sight. A young star defending the very person accused of hurting him, a mother trying to pull her child out before it's too late, and a fan base torn between loyalty and fear for Christian's future. Because let's be real, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. That airport footage, the fake smiling apology, the cryptic IG post, none of it screamed change. It screamed damage control. And if Daphne's instincts have been right all along, then Christian might not just be protecting Sha'Carri, he might be protecting himself from what happens when he refuses to play along. So now the world is holding its breath. Will Christian finally break free, or will Sha'Carri return louder than ever to flip the script yet again? And if she does, how far will she go to reclaim the spotlight she's lost? One thing's certain, this isn't the end of the story. It's just the calm before the next storm. And if you want the full, unfiltered tea when that storm hits, you already know where to be. Because when the truth gets messy, when the masks slip, and when the cameras catch what people wish they could hide, BarzBuzz will be right here breaking it all down for you.